Wonderful. It's now live streamed. So let us start with the prayer now.
Center for Educational Initiatives and Research, CEIR Global Trust, was started in 2009 with a vision to facilitate the evolution of positive and progressive schools through a passionate community of practice and emerge as the most trusted organization for educators across India and Indian schools globally. Its mission is to improve the overall K-12 school culture and performance by empowering all stakeholders using latest research and practices in education. CEIR has conducted many extraordinary programs for the target groups right from K1 to K12. The ultimate aim of CEIR is to create a CEIR Center of Excellence by 2030. A perfect home away from home to hone its members.
So now let us start our program. The topic itself is very interesting topic, educators to edupreneur. So we have Abhishek sir. You can just see the profile of him. He have won enormous awards. He was a master trainer, and I couldn't explain it, so that I put this in the slide so that our people can read it. Abhishek sir is actually a principal come director of Chitrakoot International School, and he is also the zonal director of CEIR. I wholeheartedly welcome Abhishek sir to start the program. Abhishek sir, please.
सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःख भाग् भवेत्. With this wonderful thought, let's start the topic today. A wonderful topic, educator to edupreneur. This topic is, a very wonderful topic, and it's been, specially chosen for this Saturday. So let's see what this topic talks about. Sir, slide number 2. Okay, when we talk about edupreneur, what the Google says an edupreneur is a person.
Sir, 1 second, sir. It is happening in an automatic way. Let me check it, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Edupreneur. What the Google say? An Edupreneur is a person who combines education with entrepreneurship. You can see the equation, the chemical equation, and the mathematical equation that comes education plus entrepreneur. So that becomes Edupreneur, and strives to create an education or training based company that can be a solopreneur or with employees that functions just like any other company, strives to generate more and more income than losses so that it can survive. And sustainability is something which is very, very important, and with a hope to grow and scale. When we talk about entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs are the people, those who are basically associated with education sector. They are expert, they are masters in their field, and they gain this mastery over years. This can be an opportunity to get converted to the entrepreneur. Let's move on to the third slide. The third slide says entrepreneur are basically of two types. Type one is basically the profit based, where this entrepreneurship is started to generate the profits out of whatever topic, whatever option we choose, in entrepreneur. And the second one is basically to serve the society, that is service based, where we collect the funds, because any business cannot be started without the funds. So funds are definitely required to become entrepreneur, and the source of fund goes either through CSR funding or the crowdfunding, or there could be some investments which can be done by the investors in case if it is not solopreneur. We'll move on to the third slide. Very important topic of the third slide comes how to become a successful entrepreneur. So to become a successful entrepreneur, we have to partner with the best institutions, because once we become entrepreneur, our concept, our ideas should be such where it can be well understood. So we need to partner with the best institutions around, and we need to explain them all the topics, all the point, and the reason why did we start with this entrepreneur project. Second point goes, sharpen your business skills. If you want to really become a successful entrepreneur, we need to sharpen our business skills. See, we as an educator, we are not basically into business, but slowly and gradually we have to learn how to how to do the business and how do we sharpen our skills in business. Reason being that when we start with the entrepreneur, when we become entrepreneur, we should know how to run a business and where to get the funds from, how to satisfy the customers, how to do the marketing and all. So that is what is the reason an entrepreneur has to sharpen the business skills. Point number 3 goes, be innovative. It's very, very important to be innovative, because nowadays lots of ideas are there in the market, and until we come along with something very good, something very innovative, something very creative, and something that really touches the heart of education, we cannot be successful in our entrepreneur business. Next, we'll move on to the next topic, that is adopt effective marketing strategies. There are n number of marketing strategies that are available for the marketing of our product, but basically we need to be very clear why did we start with our entrepreneur business, and which all are the strategies. In the later part of our slides we'll talk in detail how and which all kind of marketing strategies are to be opted for which all kind of entrepreneur business. So here we just look onto the points. So we have to be very, very clear what kind of product basically we are going to launch in the market, and what kind of marketing strategies are to be there, so that it can justify that we are onto the right track. It's very, very important that we have to continuously upgrade with our education technology, we have to continuously keep in, keep a pace with the changing trends in education sector. Until we are very clear about the changing trends in education sector, whatever Edupreneur, ship we start with, I'm sure that that will not be success. So until we are upgraded, what is there in the market, what is present there in the market, what all new technologies are available there in the market, what is the education trend available there in the market, I'm sure we cannot be a successful Edupreneur. So we have to continuously monitor, we need to continuously upgrade ourselves. Emphasize competitor analysis and monitoring. Yes, I said that you could be the first one to start with the entrepreneurial setup, but there are all existing companies which are already existing, and they must be having some good concept or some unique concept which you may not be having. So success, if you want to become a successful entrepreneur, it is very, very important that you have to analyze whatever products are available there in the market, whatever your competitors are providing. So this analysis and monitoring should be there. Invest in training your faculty. So before I explain this topic, I would like to give you one example. A couple of days back, I got a call from one of the company. Basically, I would definitely say Edupreneur, who's basically into education, and they started with a company called Sharpen. So they approached me and they told me that, sir, we have got a new concept, and they explained every single thing. But when I asked the person who called me that please provide me with the website so that I can go through in detail, and accordingly I'll take a decision whether I would like to go with or not. And to a matter of surprise, I was not able to open the website, and when the person who called me up, the person checked the website, she said, sir, you are right. I mean, the website is not up. It will take another 2 to 3 weeks. So it's very, very important that, we need to train our, faculty. At the same time, when I asked about the details of, this particular website, where, the company has approached me to register for the school and to register, to ask the children to register, onto this website. It is very, very innovative, and, all those things are there. When I got onto the detail, to a matter of surprise, the employee was not able to, explain the basic concepts, behind this, behind developing this, particular website. So it is very, very important that we need to invest some time. We need to invest in training, our faculty, or the partners, or our employees, so that they can explain the product wonderfully. And this is one best strategy for marketing. Next point says recruit and train potential students innovatively. Yes, we need to recruit, we need to train, whosoever is on board, we need to, recruit the potential people only. We need to train them according to our product so that they can explain this product wonderfully. And that is one very important aspect to become a successful Edupreneur. Provide substantial educational resource. As I already discussed about one website where the employee was not able to explain the purpose and explain the details and the technical aspects of the website, and what all are the features, and what all will be the benefits once we register for it. So what was the first impression of mine is that the employees, they are not well trained, and that was almost a kind of no marketing strategy, what I understood. We need to focus on process. It's very, very important that if we want to become a successful Edupreneur, we need to focus on process. Process basically defines what stage we'll be on first, and then what will be the next stage, what will be the third stage, what will be the fourth stage, and how do we collect the data, how do we analyze the data, how do we analyze the market, how do we analyze what product basically we are going to give in the market, analyzing the data of the competitors. So all these important points are there where it will help us to become a successful entrepreneur. And this is one very good strategy which will actually help us, after analyzing, to reach to a particular decision that, this product is going to be really, really, there. Sir, slide, yes. And the last point of the slide, is that focus on your goals and quality education. Because why we are talking about the quality education? Because we are not talking about the entrepreneurial project. We are talking about the Edupreneur project. So we have to be very, very clear that what kind of goal we have got and what kind of target audience we are reaching, and what should be our delivery content, what should be our quality of the education. So I hope you understood how to become entrepreneur. I'll sum up all the points in a couple of points that we have to be very, very clear about. Training our employees, training our partners. We should be very clear what is our target, what we want to achieve, and why this Edupreneur project is being started. We have to be very, very clear, about the data of our competitors. So, and finally, yes, marketing plays a very important role. So we have to clearly delegate all the responsibilities to our employees, and we have to tell all the important USPs. USPs says very clear, unique selling point. So we have to, in case if we want to become a successful entrepreneur, we have to, take care of these very, very important points. Now, as I discussed about the details of, to become an entrepreneur, several questions comes to our mind. Why to become an entrepreneur? What is the need to become an entrepreneur? What all will be the funds which are required to become an entrepreneur? So, all these questions we are going to address in our next slide. Sir, can I request you to move on to the next slide? So a very, very, a genuine question comes here. Who can become entrepreneur? Anyone can become entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is especially a word which is basically for educationists. So it could be an educator, it could be a principal, it could be a media specialist, it could be a technology integration. It could be anybody who is associated with education can become entrepreneur. So the question comes, how to become an entrepreneur, and what is the need to become an entrepreneur? This topic is, to be understood very, very carefully, because, during the pandemic, these 2 years, we have seen that, lots of educationists, they lost their job and they were having no second source of income. So, it's always better to have second source of income, and, being an educationist, we cannot do any other business, yes, but we can become entrepreneur because we are experts in our areas, be it the sports, be it administration, be it the academics, be it art and craft, be it the question paper framing, be it any kind of expertise we have got in our in our career, in our field of work. We can take it ahead and we can become entrepreneur. So we'll move on to next slide, and we'll take the topic that is decorated entrepreneur. This is a wonderful word. Why do we use basically a word decorated entrepreneur? Many people, they start with entrepreneur business, they invest into, and then after they are not so popular, they are not the recognized brands, they are not well understood. So as I talked about the successful entrepreneur, I think marketing plays a very important role. Clear goals is something which is very, very important, that we should be having a very defined, very clear goals, and all our staff members should be trained so that they can talk about the product, they can talk about the technical specifications of the product. I'm not talking that entrepreneur business is online or offline. and what mode it could be, because in the later part of the presentation, you will come to know about the know about all the technical aspects of becoming an Edupreneur and how we can become Edupreneur, which all are the areas where we can become Edupreneur, and do we really need to become Edupreneur. So all these questions will be addressed in the later part of the slide. Sir, we'll move on to next slide. What is the connection between education and entrepreneurship? So entrepreneurship is driven by an innate need to create, build, grow, and impact. When we connect the two, education and entrepreneurship, it is all about taking control of your journey. So as I was talking, like entrepreneurship is something where it could be a new setup also, where you have got no idea about that business, how to run that business, whether the business will be success or failure. But when we talk about the Edupreneurship, we've been doing continuously, we've been teaching since last so many years. We've been continuously drafting the papers, we've been continuously guiding our children for sports, we've been continuously doing n number of activities associated with our education, whether it is dress selection, book selection, notebook selection, and other related things in the education. So we can find out one, we can really take out one topic where we are actually very good and very perfect in our topic, and that could be one point where it could be the edupreneurial topic where you can start for. So we'll move on to the next slide. Known Edupreneurs in India. We'll just take an example of known Edupreneurs of India. So we'll move on to next slide. We'll talk about Uruvashi Sahani. She is the founder and CEO of Chef Study Hall Education Foundation, where this foundation is basically helping the girls, and it has helped directly 1,50,000 girls and indirectly 2,70,000 girls. This is one very good project and has been awarded, especially, Uruvashi Sahani is awarded with Social Entrepreneur of the Year in 2017. So we'll move on to next slide. We'll take up these examples, the next slide we'll come to. This is Harish Hande. Harish Hande is another pioneering social entrepreneur of India, and he is the CEO and founder of Selco. And with his Edupreneur business, he basically reached. I said that Edupreneurship is basically two kind of projects, where one is profit generation and the second one is helping the society. So Mr. Harish Hande is one who took the second one, that is the non-profitable Edupreneur business, and he helped the people where the electricity, the water supply, Nagar Nigam, Nagar Palika was not able to reach. So he reached to those rural areas, and he helped those rural people with the solar projects. And Selco has contributed almost 1,20,000 installations in the remote areas. So this is again one very good name in Edupreneur business. We'll take to the next slide, that is Jiro Bilimuria. Jiro Bilimuria is again one renowned social entrepreneur, and who is supervising several international NGOs. Again, she is basically into helping the children. So she started with the child line, and helped the children which are basically on streets. They are underprivileged, and she fights for the rights of their childhood. So this is again one very good example of Edupreneur. We'll move on to the next slide. So there is another example, and this example is very well known because this person comes to the social media and the media several times. Mr. Anshu Gupta is the founder of Gunj. Gunj is very well known society, and they work for for the poor people. They provide them the food, they provide them the education, they provide them you know uh, the better education, technical education. They get associated, they get the grants also, they get associated with some of the schools and the colleges to provide the technical education. So, this is one again, very, very good name. I would definitely request you to please search and search these, names. You will get definitely better idea about becoming an entrepreneur. And one thing which goes very, very common, in this, in these all four, is that they started, their entrepreneur business, entrepreneur setup at very small scale, and slowly and gradually, with the support of society, with the support of educationists, with the support of other people, they grew to a huge setup. So now they are very well known in India and abroad also. Let's talk on to some very, very practical examples about the entrepreneurial setup. Let's talk about the Olympiads, and being the principals, being the educationists in school, we come across n number of Olympiads, and you must be remembering around 12 years or 13 years back, there was only fewer Olympiads which were available for mathematics and science. So how they have started with this Edupreneur setup. So these are basically the sets of teachers. They thought that being a teacher, when we go in the class, we teach, we prepare a question paper, we take examination, we give result, and we identify our children, whether our children are good or they require some kind of improvement. So why not to design an Olympiad, a kind of test where their skills are to be skills can be checked in different areas, whether they are good at reasoning, whether they are good at logical, whether they are good at which all areas. So nowadays, when you see that Olympiads are having the specific results, individual results, where the parents are basically very much interested, because when a parent comes to school and ask the teacher, sir, can you please tell me which all are the areas where my child requires an improvement? And being a teacher, we say, sir, the child has to write the proper answer. But what are the proper answers? Which all are the areas where improvements are required? So Olympiad is one very good vision, and one very good example of Edupreneur setup. Then we talk about the second setup, that is Edu Sports. I think we most of us know about this setup. A sports teacher goes to a principal, and the principal is basically an educationist and has got no taste in sports. Most of the principals, including me, I mean, I can quote that, we have got less of taste in, sports. So, the sports teacher goes to, the principal and says, sir or madam, I think that rather than just teaching children football, badminton, volleyball, I would definitely want our children to, really learn the basic skills in sports. And that is something, a foundation, in sports, because harsh reality, of our education system, that we talk all about education, but we skip sports. So I would definitely say that this is again a wonderful setup by Edu Sports, where they prepare our children at the basic level, and that includes hopping, jumping, skipping, zigzag races. All these things are the important parts, where it helps any single child to become a wonderful sportsman. So it's very, very important. It's very basic skills. So that particular sports teacher identified this thing, because practically it was not possible to implement these kind of things and to provide this kind of infrastructure in the school. So yes, they started with a Edupreneur setup that is called as Edu Sports. We all are aware about. Then we talk about Super Kids India. So Super Kids India, I'm just putting example, of Super Kids India. Reason being that children are very creative, but they are not having a common platform where they can share their innovation. When I was a writer, when I was in grade 5, so I wrote a poem, and wrote this poem to only my friends, and I did not get that bigger platform where I can be encouraged to become a wonderful writer. So, Super Kids India is one platform where children can write their write-ups, they can write their poems. I'm sure, in my, next, interaction, I'll be able to tell you, the poem which I've created in grade 5. It's a wonderful poem, and, the topic goes Hingrezi, basically. It's a combination of Hindi and Angrezi. So this is how basically, children are very, very creative. They are very creative, and this Super Kids India gives a platform. So educationists thought that let's find a platform where this magazine can be circulated to all the schools, and let's have the creation find a space in this Super Kids India magazine. I remember, one example of Rubik Rostrum coaching. There was a teacher, who was given, almost a normal, weightage, as we all educators get in our school. So English teacher is there, science teacher is there, mathematics teacher is there, physics teacher is there, chemistry teacher is there. So one wonderful teacher, of physics, he just thought of having something very, very good and something very innovative. So he started with a Rubik Rostrum coaching. I'm specially quoting this name because I have seen this, Edupreneur business coming up, and this is one of the very well known, coaching in Lucknow. So they started with one room size 10 by 10 with one computer, and now they have got a huge setup where they use the collar mic, and lots of children, they come, they their first the fees for teaching physics and chemistry was on an approx 4,000 to 5,000 rupees, and now they are almost charging more than 1.5 to 2 lakh rupees. So this is one very good setup, and they are not only teaching, they are using all those tricks and techniques, because the ultimate purpose of our teaching is basically that whatever we teach there in the class, that should go in the minds of children. So this purpose is being solved by Rubik Rostrum coaching, and this has been well accepted by in the society and the children, and children, they really died to go to that coaching. So I'm not promoting the coaching here, but I'm just talking about Edupreneur business, Edupreneur setup, what kind of Edupreneur setup could be started, and what should be the idea. And one more thing which I skipped, which I didn't include in my talk about the Rubik Rostrum, they clearly said that even if we do not get the money, it's okay. But all our children, those who comes to us with a belief that we'll be learning wonderful chemistry, we'll learn all the concepts in physics, that purpose should be solved. So the point is that when we talked about the second and third slide, that our vision should be very, very clear what exactly we want out of this Edupreneur business. I'm sure there is no way where we cannot be successful. Then we talk about the coaching centers, IIT, JEE, NEET. So when there was a trend where education, after education, children used to take a break of 6 months or 1 year to prepare for IIT, JEE, NEET. Some of the Edupreneurs, they started doing innovations in the topic, and they started with the topic where they combined the CBSE content with IIT, JEE, NEET content, and this is being taught in the regular classes, because being a principal, being the director, lots of question comes from the teachers. Sir, when in case if we start with the IIT, JEE, NEET training in our school, when we'll be finishing our syllabus. So so the solution to it is very, very clear, where all our Edupreneurs, they started working on it, and they integrated both the curriculums into one, and that is being taught in the regular classes not directly taking the content from CBSE, so it's covering the CBSE content also, where because it comes the main and the foundation framework for all kind of examinations. So they've been taking they have integrated both the topics, and these coachings are now very well flourishing. But again, the same thing, lots of coaching comes and lots of coaching goes, but only one thing which can help you sustain is a clear vision. What exactly is your vision? So this is one very, very good example of entrepreneurial setup. Another one very good example, I could say that the teacher trainers, CBSE is now preparing the teacher trainers. They have just started a couple of years back, maybe 2 to 3 years back. But some principals, some teachers, they felt the need that there is really a requirement of teacher training, because one very, very important point I would like to discuss here, that we teachers, we took our education. If I talk about myself, I took my education approx 25 to 30 years back, and we are preparing the children for 2030. So is it really worth, is it really valid that the old education system, the old education pattern, the old knowledge is sufficient to prepare the children for 2030? So practically it is not possible. That is what is the reason there is a need of teacher training. So some of our edupreneurs, they look this as an opportunity, and they started with the teacher training, the proper teacher training setup, and they had trained lots of teachers on different topics. General topic comes classroom control. Most of the teachers, they find it a little difficult. They could be very good at taking the topic, but they struggle with the classroom control. So classroom control could be one topic. Subject enrichment could be one topic. Taking practical and live examples is one important topic. And talking something about something innovative about our subject, that is again something which could be the part of the teacher training. The teacher training is something very, very important, and this could be one of the very, very good setup you can start for your Edupreneur setup. Next comes IT introduction to technology. Remember educators about 10 years back, we'll take we'll go to approx 10 years back or a decade back, and we can see that IT was integrated into our teaching. There was a need. Some engineers in our education system, in our schools, I'm sure you must agree that we have got some teachers, those who are engineers, those who are electrical engineers, those who are mechanical engineers. So those are some are IT experts. So they came to our education system and they analyzed that everything goes chalk and talk. So let's find out a way, let's find out a method, let's find out a creative idea where the children can children can learn. As we always say that all our children learn through VAC, visual, auditory, kinesthetics. So there are different kind of learners there in in our classroom. So to address this particular need, they have integrated IT, information technology. So there was the introduction of smart boards, and there were more than 40 to 50 varieties of smart boards that came to our education. And along with the smart board, the smart content. So class-wise smart content also is being introduced, and it is specially designed to make the children very clear about the topic, and they can learn it through the visuals. A very wonderful, very creative. Initially they started with 2D creatives, and then after they moved on to 3D creatives. So introduction to IT, to education, is again one wonderful Edupreneur setup. When we are talking about these examples, I'm sure that these are already existing one. In case if we want to take a start with our Edupreneur setup, we have to be innovative, we have to be creative, we have to find out in the market what is already in the trend, what is the latest trend, what all technologies are already available. Can we design something wonderful? And one more example which I would like to add into it is the introduction to ERP system. I'm sure you can relate that there is enormous paperwork in school, and that has with the introduction of ERP systems, this work has been reduced to almost 50 to 60%. Then comes again handwriting improvement, as we have got our setup also of Veda handwriting. So I would like to definitely quote this, because this is again one wonderful Edupreneur setup where there is a need to improve the handwriting of our children. They should write wonderfully, because mostly overall personality development of the children is checked either through handwriting, either through presentation, either through speaking. So these are the basic things which are available at the first interaction, and that gives the first first impression also. So I would say that this is one wonderful thought, wonderful idea, and I would definitely include in one thing that handwriting improvement is one very good concept, and handwriting actually shows your personality. So if you are writing wonderful, I'm sure you are a wonderful person. If you are not writing good, that doesn't say that you are not a wonderful person, but yes, you need to work on your handwriting. So handwriting improvement is one wonderful setup of entrepreneurial thought process. Again, another concept that has come, the introduction of Montessori lab. It's very important that we'll ask our children, let's start children barakari, let's start say anar, say am, say imli. So it's very important that why not to set up a lab, because why not to prepare our children where they have got a Montessori lab concept. Why not to have the smelling bottles? Why not to have the pink tars, so that basically they can find out which size fits in where, and they can find out the difference in sizes. They can find out the differences in color. They can find out, they can scribble on the floor. So all those huge concepts, I'm not talking in particular in detail about the Montessori lab, but I'll tell you that this is one wonderful concept where the children are taught at the basic levels, because in Montessori, in lower classes, in preparatory classes, we all focus on developing our basic senses. I'm sure you must agree. So basic senses are developed in the Montessori lab, and I'm sure that they do not have to wait for 5 years, 7 years, or 12 years to to reach to that level where their senses are developed. So in case if their senses are developed by the age of 5 or 6, I think this is a wonderful, wonderful concept of Edupreneur, Edupreneur setup. So we'll move on to next example, sir. So other examples, like in school we have got n number of opportunities, as I was talking to you about that, we finalize dresses. So this could be one very good setup, where we can identify the needs of the school, and we can design the dresses as per the need of the school. And every school wants to have a unique color, unique pattern, unique design, and unique symbol that is there on the dresses, bags, books. So I'm sure this is one wonderful setup that can be thought for. Horticulture is one very good example. Again, like since last 1 to 2 decades, schools are not only focusing on academics. They are not focusing on the development of the sports. They are also focusing on horticulture, so that the school is nice, wonderful. It should be lush green campus they can provide to children, so that it will it'll be a happy teaching learning process in the school that happens. So horticulture is one very good entrepreneurial thought process that could be started in the school, and that could be started with a unique concept, where some of the schools they want that they basically prepare a cage And then after, all the plants are being planted there in the cage. So it takes a shape of camel, it takes a shape of, lion, it takes a shape of tiger, it takes a shape of peacock. So, this is one wonderful setup, horticulture, one very good thought process that can be thought for the entrepreneurial setup. Subject content expert, as I already said, that some teachers, they took the initiative and they took it as a challenge, and they started with a entrepreneurial setup where they have integrated CBSE content, with IIT, JEE, NEET content, or any other competitive examination, whether it is NDA, CDS, and they are integrated, this content, and they are teaching in the class without any kind of troubles, without requiring additional periods. So this is one very good thought process. Yes, again, another one wonderful thought process that is already flourishing. I could say that excursion tours. So every school, they organize excursion tours, and initially the concept was that children should also get idea about how these places look, how the historical places looks, and this could be a fun and frolic trip. But nowadays this fun and frolic tours are being actually converted to educational tour, where education is being provided, and at the same time they enjoy visiting the places. So this is one wonderful setup. And the last point of this example comes is the parenting session. Nowadays, you may agree, being an educationist, you may agree that parents are rather more confused. Sometimes parents comes to me, sir, my child was studying in grade 1 and 2 in this school. Then after I changed the school and I, made my child to enter in this school, child studied for 3 years, and then after my child, wants to take admission in your school. So what is the idea basically? What the parents knows about education? Are they clear about the education? Most of our parents, they are not very clear about the CBSE board. They are not very clear about the ICSE board. They are not very clear about the difference between ICSE board and Cambridge board and IB board and state board. They just look for, I'm sure you must have experienced when they call the school. First they ask for what is the fees of the school, and then accordingly they decide. So is it something the school which is it something the fees that basically decides about the education? No. So parenting sessions are something very important, and this could be taken as one very, very good entrepreneurial entrepreneurial or entrepreneurial setup. So that we can explore. There are n number of areas where we can think, we can there's scope in n number of areas we need to identify. Yes, please make sure before you take a decision to become Edupreneur, you have to be very clear about your area of expertise. If I am good at teaching, if I'm very good at preparing the question paper, I cannot think of starting with an Edupreneur setup where I'm providing services in horticulture, or I'm providing services in excursion tour. So we have to be very clear in our vision. We have to be very, very choosy. What goes our strength? We need to take the Edupreneur. We need to take a decision on Edupreneurial setup, and accordingly we need to take the decision. Sir, can we move on to the last slide, the last part of our presentation? Yes. So two important things where I'm sharing the experience. When I was a principal in one of the school in Rajkot. So one child came to me and said, "Sir, for our science projects, I would like to make a go-kart." So this idea, really we liked the idea, but the challenge was how to prepare this go-kart, how to prepare the base, where to get the wheels, which engine we will be fitting, whether it will be electric engine, whether it will be the gasoline engine, whether it will be what kind of engine. So we initially, I'm just sharing my experience, and these kind of creative things. Being a teacher, we just go there in the class, we just take our topic, and accordingly we'll prepare the question papers, and we check the answers and we judge the children. Come on, teachers, this is not the education. Education is all about making children independent. Education is all about what is the new thing that they learn. So what I think that at our times we have learned 9 planets, now it is 8 planets. Whose information is correct? Maybe in future there could be 13 planets or 12 planets. So let's talk to our children. Let's make them entrepreneurs. Let's make them edupreneurs, and we also can think of becoming edupreneurs. So this was one wonderful setup. Now I would definitely boast on that. This child. I was the one who supported. I was taking science there, and along with other 2 teachers. And this child is now making the electrical vehicles, and which is being approved by the government, and they are possibly going to sell it from maybe July or August onwards. So this is a good experience that I could share with you. There was another one concept. I would definitely not want to name the company and the school, but I would definitely say that there was lots of mind spanning that has happened, that teachers have to prepare. Some schools, they ask the teachers to prepare one set of question paper. Some teachers have been asked to prepare 3 sets of question paper, and out of 3 sets 1 question paper comes. What about the other 2 sets of question paper? So why not to create a repository of it? Why not to create such a question bank which is readily available with the teacher? Because question paper preparing is a huge task. Nowadays question papers are not being prepared from the back side of the questions. It is always prepared from inside the topic. So it's a huge and tedious task for the teachers. So this one concept was picked up by one person, and they started preparing the question banks that included the MCQs, subjectives, HOTS, higher order thinking skills, practical based question, concept based questions, and that covers all kind of questions and the needs of preparing the question paper. And what the CBSE has implemented, they have divided the question paper into half and half. Half could be the MCQ and half could be the descriptive ones. So this satisfies the need. So accordingly, I would say that if we want to become edupreneur, we have to find out our strength. We don't have to look to any other area. We have to find our strength. We have to explore it and to find out which all are the latest trends, which all are the things which are available. And in case if we have got wonderful idea, I'm sure we should go ahead and become an edupreneur. Thank you so much for listening patiently to me. And we have got, I think, a couple of questions. So in case if any question is there, you're most welcome to ask the question.
Thank you very much. So now we'll move to the next slide. There, we have 15 minutes time. We can ask questions.
In the meanwhile, the question comes, I would say here that, see, it's very, very important that, we need to identify our skills. We as a educator, we are, we are very strong in one or the other thing. We need to expedite, along with the teaching, we should continue our passion also, and this could be started out of passion. Later on, it could become a wonderful source of income.
Correct. So any questions can be asked. We have 15 minutes time. You can even share in the chat box also. Sir, I have a few questions in my list. Okay, can I ask you that?
Please.
Yeah. Sir, the first one is about, how to become an entrepreneur. That is a very critical question. How one can be an entrepreneur? What makes a person entrepreneur, according to you?
So it's it's very simple, very clear, and as I talked earlier, that we can become an entrepreneur. We have to find out our strength. Every person is able. Every person has got some or the other hidden capabilities. Every person is expert in some or the other field. We need to find out. We need to explore. We need to expedite ourselves, and I'm sure we'll be able. Nobody knows better than us, so we know ourselves better. We find out which area is a very strong area, and we need to do the market research. We can find out the latest trends in that area, and in case if anything is there which is a unique feature, I'm sure this can be explored and expedited and can be a good entrepreneurial setup.
So can you clarify this, the two words, the, edupreneur and entrepreneurs? Some more clarity is needed in that. Entrepreneur
Okay.
is a common word. Edupreneur is a new word. So how you coin the two things?
Oh, that's a good question, sir. Basically, when we talk about Edupreneur, so Edupreneur in my second slide, as I was talking, it's education who turns to an entrepreneur. So when we talk about education and when we talk about entrepreneurs and when we combine it, we call it as Edupreneurs. And Edupreneurs are basically from the field of education only. And when we talk about the entrepreneurial setup is one idea that comes to our mind, and this may be related, it may not be related, to our regular thought process. So that is called as entrepreneurship. So when we talk about edupreneurship is only confined to education. The entrepreneurial setup, a new thought process setup, which is related to education or helping understanding education better.
Very good. And sir, one more question I have. I think all our participants have the same thing. Any specific skill other than the normal educational skills which you have gathered throughout our career. Any other specific skill is required to be an edupreneur?
There is one clarification I would like to give to my my earlier answer, that when we talk about educationists and when we talk about edupreneurs, we don't have to leave our job, we don't have to quit our teaching and become the entrepreneurs. It can be simultaneous also, it could be part-time also, it could be full-time also, but it should be related to education.
So a tuition teacher is also an edupreneur, am I right?
I'm sorry, sir?
A tuition teacher is also an edupreneur.
No, when we say that the tuition teacher is the most wanted in the area and everybody wants to learn from the tuition teacher, because tuition teacher is not the one who explains between the lines. There is some special technique which is there with the tuition teacher. We can call this person as a edupreneur.
Okay. Clear, sir. Clear. One question from Purna ma'am. What qualification should an edupreneur have? It's a question.
So, this question is again very important. We take an admission to university, we'll study for 3 years, 2 hours, we'll do our doctorate. Come on, we do not require any such thing. Only thing is required that we are associated with education sector, as a tuition teacher, as a coaching teacher, as a regular teacher, as a Montessori teacher, as a primary teacher, as a middle school teacher, as a senior school teacher, or as a subject expert. But only one thing is there, that we should having a great ideas, a bright ideas, a wonderful ideas, right, where it solves the purpose that whatever you are teaching to your children, whatever new technology you are going to start with. For example, a teacher thought of introducing something into 3D, or a virtual reality is the new edupreneurial setup. Virtual reality, where the things comes out of the computer or the laptop or the tablet, and you can, make it, move 360 degree. So this is one wonderful idea, and this has been basically used, in the colleges where, MBBS students, they can, rotate any organ into 360 degree. They can open it, they can do the dissection also, they can stitch it. So this is one wonderful setup. So only thing is that, we should be having a bright idea which can help in learning.
In short, there's a comment, they should be having enormous creative ideas.
Perfectly fine. Yes.
Yeah,
they should
right.
be having a creative ideas. They should be having ideas which is, easily acceptable by the society. It should be easily acceptable by everybody, especially children, those who are going to have the facility of that. There is no point starting something which has come out of an alien world and nobody understands it. So either there is a problem in thought process, either there is a problem in setting up, the correct, goals, either there is a problem in marketing. So we have to be very clear before starting. Some prerequisites are there. Before we start with the entrepreneurial setup, we should be very, very clear. What is our goal? Why we are starting this setup? Is there anybody who is in competition with me? Is there anything that can hinder my project? And yes, whenever I am approaching people with the project, whether it is accepted or it is not accepted. If it is not accepted, where are the areas where improvement is required? So with these wonderful thought process, you can become a wonderful Edupreneur.
You're right, sir. Even actually, something which is innovative. Am I right, sir?
Yes.
Something
Yes.
which is based on our subject also. It's not that in other subjects. Something.
Sir, it's very important that we should take from our subject expertise. Whichever area we are very good at, we need to take only that. We should not get charmed by or get carried away by somebody says something and then we started something. It should be our idea. It should be our thought process. It should be our innovation. It should be our excavation, that we excavate something from inside while teaching the particular topic. For example, I am teaching, I've been teaching, science, entrepreneurship, social science, computer science since last 24 years. And in these 24 years, I know in and out what all things are very good to children, which all areas are there where children require additional support. What could be the better way of supporting the children so that they understand the topic wonderfully. So in case if I start with some setup, I'm sure I'm the subject matter expert. I'm sure I know where are the problems. I know which all are the areas, where improvement is required. And I'm sure, with the use of technology, without the use of technology, with the use of paper, without the use of paper, with the use of creativity in the class, without the use of creativity in the class, all these kind of, ideas, all these things can be gathered together and we could, explore which topic suits us, and we can become a wonderful Edupreneur.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I think you made it very clear. Like simplified, I believe. So it's a wonderful journey. So of course, every initiative will have some risk. So we have to calculate that risk. And as sir advised, please do not leave the job and start for immediate. It's a backup. It's a backup plan B kind of thing.
Yes.
Please, it's a wonderful this thing. Everyone should try. There's nothing wrong in it. In fact, I was also a teacher. I was actually working in some colleges. Then, I become an entrepreneur in 2009. I was basically, looking after the competitive exams like IIT, CAT like exams. Later, from my experience, this thing, some research, I've created something about handwriting. It's
Correct.
too innovative. Nobody, so that kind of this thing, and definitely there will be a lot of time and energy you have to spend, and you should have some kind of a passion. Then everything will be smooth enough. Okay, wonderful, Abhishek sir. It was indeed a great this thing. It will be useful for our participants. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching. And Dr. Abhishek Sharma, he is also our zonal director indoor. We are coming out with some innovative plans for, we are now coming to your cities. Wherever you are, we are planning 25 cities in India, cities in the sense towns in India. And the same conclaves, the webinars in the name of conclaves, we will be presenting across India with our, people who belong to CEIR, our zonal directors, and all will be the resource people. Soon you will get the intimation. Thank you very much, all the participants. Vande Gurum to you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. With last one, thing I would like to say to all, whosoever is present in our session, that this is just not a session. Please make it, practical, and I'm sure you'll enjoy. You'll enjoy. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.